Hey folks, welcome to the new Whiskey Hunter headquarters. I moved down to the basement. Today we're going to be reviewing, well, today's review is going to be a little bit different. We're still reviewing whiskey, but it's going to be a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing a beautiful Japanese Matsui whiskey called the peated. But while doing our review and our tasting, we're going to be using a variety of Riedel glasses, Austrian crystal glasses. We're going to see how the glassware affects our whiskey, if it enhances the whiskey, how it affects our tasting, and at the end I'm going to decide which of the three glasses that I'm going to use, which one I prefer the most. It's kind of like Riedel versus the Matsui. So let's go. It's gonna be fun. I'm the whiskey hunter. Here it is, folks. Beautiful bottle. Single malt Japanese whiskey, the Matsui. This is called the peated. Not sure what these kanjis say, if they say the Matsui or if it says the peated. It might also say the Great Wave, which is the name of this piece of artwork. I'll get into that in a second. Not much other information on the bottle. It just say Kurayoshi Distillery, where this bottle, Matsui, is from. Everything else on the bottle is in Japanese. So no other information. I did find out it's 48% ABV. This artwork, though, is pretty special. I'll give you one more look at it. It's a famous print. It's actually one of the world's most iconic pieces of Asian art. So it's called the Great Wave. You see the wave there? Maybe the kanjis actually say the Great Wave. I'm not sure. It's a famous print by a Japanese artist, Katsushika Hokusai. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Cool looking bottle. Interestingly, though, it didn't have a cork. It had a screw top. Still cool, nonetheless. So we're going to be sampling, tasting, reviewing this whiskey. But like I said, we're going to be doing it using the Riedel glasses, Austrian crystal. We have your standard rocks glass. We have like a cognac flute glass. And we have their single malt glass. So we're using these three vessels, sample this whiskey, doing a little bit of research on the Riedel stuff. So basically you have your glass info here. We have the bowl, we have the length, and we have the rim diameter. These three things affect, once you pour the whiskey in or the spirit, they affect where the whiskey hits your palate, where it hits the tongue. So I think the nosing and the tasting and the finishes, everything should be different using these three glasses. In theory, we're going to test that out right now. So I'm going to have to, just for you folks, I'm going to have to drink 3 whiskeys tonight, not just one. So I got a little bit of whiskey in my rocks glass. I mean, not a little bit, a good little bit. A little bit of whiskey in my cognac flute. I don't know if it's actually called a cognac flute. I just like calling it that. And the single malt glass. Okay? So we're gonna go right in and start nosing the crap out of these. We gotta do everything 3 times. So we're gonna go right in on the rocks glass and take a sniff of this beautiful Japanese Matsui, the peated. So right away, you're expecting a little bit of peat smoke. Here we go, folks. So, definitely getting the peat. It's a nice light breezy kind of peat, nothing too offensive. And some fruitiness. Got to do a lot of sniffing here, folks. Moving on to our flute, cognac flute. So, kind of so far the nose is kind of the same on both, I think. Maybe the rocks glass, I'm getting a bit more just kind of alcohol on the nose. And then you come to the single malt glass. So this glass is scientifically, specifically made for single malt whiskeys. If you notice the rims that the rim of the glass that kind of shoots outward, they call this a tulip. So this is made to highlight the sweetness in your whiskeys. And I'm not sure how it's supposed to affect the nosing of it, but on the nose, I'm getting, I do get some nose. I get some fruit on the nose in both these other glasses. Man, it's like a a nosing convention. But with the tulip, I'm getting a lot of fruitiness, a lot of sweetness. Another thing that the tulip's supposed to do, it's supposed to burn off some of the alcohol taste, which is interesting because in the rocks glass, I'm getting a little bit of a kind of a lot of alcohol. Where in the cognac glass, it's kind of maybe because the rim diameter is it's smaller. I'm not getting much. I'm just getting a little bit of the light peat smoke. But in the single malt glass, definitely getting that peat smoke and a lot of fruitiness, a lot of sweetness. Some cereal notes also. Let's get to the good part. Going in for a taste. I got to start. I'm going to keep in order here, folks. Going in on the rocks glass. Little taste. I got to pace myself here. So here we go. Cheers at home. Ching! Ooh. First of all, it's my third time doing a tasting for this whiskey this week. And let me tell you, very nice. So another thing I got to explain about the glasses. I've been doing my research this week, folks. I've been talking to people at Riedel, some great people at Riedel. Another thing I got to talk about is the flow. So the longer the vessel, so you notice the different lengths of the vessels. The longer the vessel, the more you need to tilt your head. So with the cognac flute, the longer the vessel, I'm not going to sip it now, but because it's longer, to get the liquid to my mouth, I have to kind of tilt the neck back. Shorter the vessel, ain't no tilt going on here. And I'll explain the tilt. So that's called flow. So let's talk about that as we go through our tasting here. So on the palate, I'm not getting no tilt. There ain't no flow happening here, no tilt. What's happening is I'm getting a lot of alcohol kind of slamming into my tongue. That big, great wave is kind of coming crashing down on me all at once. And it's a bit strong. Moving on, I'm still getting the fruitiness. I'm still, the peat smoke is nice. There's still some sweetness, there's still some fruitiness, but it's a bit abrasive using the rocks glass. Let's check out the flute. So I'm going to be tilting a lot now because the vessel is longer. So what happens when you tilt like that, it misses the tip of the tongue altogether and it's going to the back of the mouth. So instead of getting that sweetness and that fruitiness, I'm getting the alcohol is kind of slamming into the back of my throat, into my esophagus. Does that make sense? Not as nice of experience as the rocks glass, but let's try, you know where this is going. I already like this glass better. Let's try the single malt glass. So taking advantage of a nice medium tilt and the tulip kind of shape at the end here. I got a nice little tilt. It's kind of hitting the tongue in the proper spot. And like I said, like the great wave, it's like you have that anticipation for the wave to come, and you know you're expecting the peat. Like I said, some fruitiness, some peat smoke, but you got that anticipation, and then all of a sudden that wave comes crashing into your tongue in the right way, and there's like a rush of flavor coming out in a good way. All the fruitiness, like there's apple, mango, orange. Still have those cereal notes coming through, a little bit of a peppery kick, a bit of pepper spice, but it's hitting the palate in the least offensive way of these three glasses, and it's what a fantastic whiskey, folks, this Matsui. I'm just gonna keep on sipping on this single malt glass. So as far as the finish goes, the smokiness stays with you. The fruitiness that I'm getting at the end, it's not so much all the orange and the mango and the apple, it's more the apple. It's more like almost like a baked, smoked apple sweetness at the end. The spice kind of disappears, just get smokiness and smoky apple goodness at the end. So I'd have to say, just going back to the glassware, I'd have to say I likes the rocks glass. I'm used to drinking out of rocks glasses because I prefer them something big and meatier. The flute, the cognac flute, is very. I feel a little bit proper with this. I like it. I feel classy holding on to it. But I have to tell you two things. I think I just drank a lot of whiskey there, but I have to tell you, the single malt glass, I have to give the nod to this one. Easier to nose. I'm getting more aromas on the nose. Hits my tongue and my palate the best out of the three of them. It just kind of lands, I think, where it's supposed to land, and I'd say it's enhancing the whiskey more so than these two glasses, and probably more so than the rocks glasses that I've been using for the past 20 years. So maybe it's time to change. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'm not gonna waste these ones though. You know what I'm gonna do? Folks, let's be smart here. You pour the flute into the rocks, and you pour the rocks into the single malt. Cheers. One more time. Big wave, giant, not big mean wave, a big giant friendly whiskey wave. Landing on the palate. And I'm just kind of swimming in peat, swimming in fruit. Oh, beauty. In conclusion, first off, the whiskey, Japanese, the Matsui, the peated. It's a fantastic whiskey. Lightly peated, fruity, sweet. If you'd like to dip your feet in some peat, it's a good one. I mean, peated whiskeys are tough to get into. This is a great whiskey to get into. Next, the glassware, the Riedel glassware. First off, special shout out, Alysha Harker, Canadian Director of Riedel, for sending me the glassware and chatting with me this week and answering all my questions. Thank you very much. So the glassware, does it help? Does it affect the whiskey tasting? Does it enhance it? Does it make it worse? Does it make it better? It absolutely makes it better. First off, I've been using the same glasses for a long time, so it's good to just break out of your shell and try something new. Secondly, the glasses are just so damn good looking and shiny and fancy looking that they make you feel good when you're holding them in your hand. Thirdly, they're dishwasherable. My mom asked the question, can you put these crystal glasses, these beautiful crystal glasses, in the dishwasher? Yes, you can. And fourthly, I like single malts, and they have scientifically made a glass that is good for single malt whiskey drinking. So yes, do they enhance the whiskey tasting, whiskey drinking experience? I'd say absolutely yes. But you've got to figure it out for yourself, folks. You got to go out and check out the Riedel stuff. Some of it is pricey, some of it's very affordable. The Matsui is also kind of pricey. Who cares? Go try it and figure it out for yourself, folks. That's it. Those are my thoughts. The Matsui versus Riedel with a blast. I gotta go. Please subscribe to the channel. Like the videos, comment, share, do whatever you want. I'd love to hear your questions, thoughts, concerns, anything. Other than that, folks, I gotta go. 'Cause I'm the whiskey, the whiskey. Ching. I'm the whiskey